Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Sergio. I'm the CEO and founder of Elliot. We're a new no and low code e-commerce platform. And basically we're simplifying the way people sell online by providing them a really easy e-commerce platform to not just start, but also scale their business. At Elliot, we're really focused around two things for store owners online. Number one, simplifying store management. So a big part of running an e-commerce business today is that it's really easy to, let's say, sign up and start a shopping cart, but it's really hard when you actually have to start to sell stuff. You have to go source different applications, subscribe to a bunch of different apps, from fulfillment, managing customers, emails. It gets really complicated. So with Elliot, we actually don't require store owners to actually install or subscribe to any additional applications. You can do everything within Elliot without adding a single add-on or plugin or even coding. And number two, we're helping brands go international. So out of the box with Elliot, every shopping experience that you create, whether that's a payment page, a storefront, they're all fully localized. So no matter where you're engaging with your audience or your customers, every experience is localized to their currency, to their language, depending on what country and region they're coming in from, also their preferred payment and shipping options as well. So we're not just simplifying e-commerce, we're actually powering it with a really great cross-border tool as well. So what really that means, as I mentioned, is that as you're starting an e-commerce business, you can get up and running on Elliot with no apps, without coding anything, and zero headaches. So we literally don't require even a monthly subscription. You don't even need a credit card to start. You can literally launch a storefront, sell a product, and our users do this in like less than 5 minutes. And the cool thing about Elliot is that unlike other e-commerce platforms where you kind of hit a certain ceiling and you kind of have to graduate per se to a different platform, we actually have the tools on the low-code side with the Jamstack headless front end to help you scale. And again, it doesn't require any apps. Those Jamstack front ends have all of our cross-border infrastructure, so it's low code, and again, low barriers to entry for scaling your business. A quick background on Elliot too. We launched Elliot October 17th of 2019, so we're only about 3-4 months old. But in that time, we've now scaled to over 1,500 merchants from 90 different countries that use our platform for a variety of different things, whether that's running B2B e-commerce sites, direct-to-consumer e-commerce sites. We actually power cashless honest bars at various co-working spaces to just pop-up shops. We're really, again, enabling powerful e-commerce, but with all the different headaches that are associated with maintaining an existing shopping cart. And before I go into a quick demo, to get everyone, if you actually pull up your smartphone and just scan this, you'll actually see what the experiences on Elliot are like. It's actually going to take you to our swag shop, but just to kind of give you a look and feel of the storefronts that we're already powering. So once you just, you can tap on the toast and you'll be right into our store. And then that'll be that, and let me flip to just doing a quick demo of what Elliot actually is as a platform. So to take everyone through Elliot and what we offer today, we give our users a full back-end for creating their storefronts. It comes with everything from managing your catalog. Here you go. You're able to merchandise things. We literally have pretty much every feature that you would want when running a store. You're also able to add vendors, so you're able to transform your stores into marketplaces as well. You're able to sell any type of product right out of the box and get going relatively easy. So once you've added your products, we allow you to create different looks and feels. So the cool thing about Elliot too is that unlike most shopping carts, you can actually create multiple websites from a single admin panel. So a lot of our users may start their direct-to-consumer site. They may have a pop-up shop. They may do B2B line sheets. You can create different looks and feels and stores all from a single admin. So if I just go into this, this is actually a live site. You can go to shoplatinx.com. They're one of our early users. But you're able to kind of modify everything, not having to code. You can assign colors, different typography. You can select from a variety of different themes. It's all really simple and intuitive without having to install a single thing to do this. If I go back to my admin. Now the cool thing about Elliot too is that most shopping carts, you can start a store, you can sell something, but then it's like, how do I fulfill it, right? With Elliott, as orders are placed, we provide you all the different shipping documentation, not just for domestic orders, but for international ones as well. And what that means is it's not just like a packing slip and a shipping label, but if it's an international order, we're actually collecting duties, we're providing you commercial invoices and customs declaration forms. So we make international selling super simple as well. And then just to take everyone through some of the other stuff in settings, you're able to brand your site, add custom URLs, different metadata, social profiles, local locations, payouts. The cool thing about Elliott too is that you can connect things like Stripe and in the future Route Fusion, but we actually pay you out instantly for all your orders. So unlike most shopping carts too, that require like 3-4 day rolling closes, we pay you out once orders come in, and we actually don't charge you anything. So we're actually going to be updating our pricing model here shortly, but our pricing is pretty simple. It's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction, so it's just the base pass-through processing fee from Stripe. And everything from promotions, shipping, the whole nine, you literally have a full-blown backend to create really beautiful and powerful storefronts. So here's an example of an actual store on Elliott that's a marketplace, but for example, Brittany is the founder of Shop Latinx. She's a non-technical solo founder. She actually created a marketplace that has multiple vendors in literally less than 6 hours, which is pretty crazy. So this is just one example of what you can do on Elliott, but fairly straightforward. And then as you scale, we actually partnered with Zeit. Zeit's a new serverless platform. So using their Now CLI, you can actually deploy your storefronts on Zeit with a whole bunch of different developer infrastructure and tools to start theming these as well, to have some more creative control over your storefronts. But that's Elliott. Yeah.
Before I ask my question, this is dope.
Thank you.
Dope. Where in the journey do you stop for somebody, right? So not the smart people in the room, but somebody just on the street. They see it and they're hyped, like, oh, like I don't like. But then they start having issues with like, well, where do I get my sweatshirts from, right? And then the things like, so where do you stop on that journey? Do you like, is it after somebody submits their credit card and the order comes through? Is it still like, we can't make up your inventory. Like you still have to have your inventory or find another platform. Does that make sense? Like, do they still have to find another platform for like where their sweatshirts are housed and sent from? Like, does that make?
It makes total sense. So we stop. We allow you to merchandise your store, process the transaction. Elliott's already fully integrated with tools like Zapier as well and cloud elements. So you're able to sync up orders. You're also able to integrate customer service. And then we actually have integrations starting tomorrow with different print-on-demand companies. We're starting actually with Printify. So you'll actually be able to sync up your merch store, have it easily integrated, launch a store with merch, for example. So we kind of go full spectrum and we're full stack within the experience. And we allow you to integrate different customer support and fulfillment options as well as print-on-demand and drop shipping.
So you guys are like GSI commerce and like analytics and...
Yeah, it's really interesting. So my background, I've spent the last 10 years in e-commerce, building e-commerce and cross-border solutions for mid to large market brands, such as like Crocs, Samsung, Chubbies, and a whole host of others. And really it was combining a lot of what we were doing for those larger brands, but providing access to a really powerful suite of tools for really any level of seller. Because what we saw with brands today is that even if you're a new brand, your audience is already kind of by default global. So it's like, how do you have a platform to service them, which is why we created Elliott.
This is dope. This is like low-key like digital ribbon. Like you're like digital ribbon before like digital ribbon.
Thank you.
Amazing. The back end seems like super fleshed out.
Yeah.
And the front end seems like it's really getting there. Do you really want Elliott to be so? Do you really want Elliott to do everything in house, as in you are developing your website and your marketplace fully on Elliott, or are you going to open that up to other front end solutions as well?
Yeah, so in less than 3 weeks, our actual front end, if you are a developer, will be available open source. You'll be able to deploy that on site using now as well as the Elliott CLI. So when that happens, developers will have full source code control through our Elliott backend. So here, you can come into the API section for a developer. You can grab your API key. You'll be able to deploy Elliott on site, have their developer toolkit connect Elliott via API and start theming.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And the cool thing about that developer pack, unlike most kind of Jamstack e-commerce front ends, you'll actually be able to transact, fulfill globally the minute your storefront's live, which is pretty dope. Yeah.
So kind of jumping off of that, do you have a content section, like for blog posts? So do you have a section for blog posts? I work a lot with like publishers and content creators and say they want to add like a merch site, but most of their traffic comes in from just organic SEO traffic. So are you able to do that on this, or would you have to integrate with like WordPress?
Yeah, right now we're just linking to a blog site, or yeah.
So it would just be like rerouting.
Exactly. We have simple pages, and blogs is one thing that has been asked sometime. We're actually prioritizing an integration with Contentful and WordPress, so you can easily integrate those blogging solutions.
Cool.
Yep.
I didn't see it, but I'm sure it's there. Is there a digital download as opposed to, you have like all the shipping and stuff, but can you just like with different versions of digital downloads?
Yeah, so in your catalog section, there's a lot of stuff with e-commerce to kind of go through. Let's just pick this candle. Here we go. Where is it at? Actually, let me create a product. Yeah, so when you're creating a product, you're able to just say, hey, I want this one to be a downloadable product. So that changes some of the post-purchase flows in terms of emails and what the consumer gets. So you're able to do that. And then on that note, with flexibility, Elliott's really cool in the sense that when you actually create stores, so you have the flexibility to create multiple product types, but you're also able to create multiple storefront types. So what's cool about Elliott is that you can change up the flow of your checkout for different type of things that you want to do. So for example, if anyone's familiar with Ethel's Club is a new co-working space in Brooklyn. They actually changed their, let me pull that, well, I'll just pull up this one. Well, when you create a checkout, you can define things like, hey, I want to do in-store self-checkout. I may want an express checkout. We give you full control as to how you want to launch a store, manage it, and then shorten the checkout funnel as well. Yeah.
So, and sorry if this has kind of been answered already, but I haven't been able to pick up on it clearly. Say I've got an established brand, I'm looking to monetize or integrate that. How does this integrate with the existing site that I have to stay within that ecosystem? And kind of based on that, if I have existing recurring customers, how do I migrate them into this system?
Gotcha. So an example of a customer that uses just like that is actually Rooted. Rooted's a direct-to-consumer plant company, a lot like the Sill, based in Williamsburg. They have an existing Shopify Plus business. They actually use Elliott to augment for things like pop-ups or B2B. So we're integrated with different shopping carts. If you already have an existing shopping cart solution, you can connect it multiple ways, through API, via Zapier. So as orders come in, you can post them back into your existing e-commerce site or order management solution. And then you're also able to sync back customers as well. So if you wanted to bring customers in, drive them to Elliott, you can still sync them back to an existing tool using a tool like Zapier or an API or some type of bulk export that we provide already. Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit more about the CLI function, the open source sort of part, what you can do with that?
Yeah, so when that comes...
Repeat the question real quickly.
Yeah, so he had asked essentially what you can do with our open source package and our CLI. So in 3 weeks when we launch that, you'll be able to download off of our GitHub the Elliott CLI. You're already able to download Zeit's Now CLI. Essentially what you're able to do is actually clone a store, deploy a store. That package will be ran on Zeit. If anyone's familiar with it, you can just go to zeit.co. Zeit's a new kind of serverless static hosting platform. You'll be able to deploy it from your local machine. You'll be able to authenticate your Elliott account. You'll be able to pick which storefront and catalog that you want to actually deploy. And then when you do that, you'll essentially be able to spin up this. This is actually a live example of one checkout and storefront running. But what you'll get is all the routes predefined. You'll have dynamic collections and product list pages, as well as product detail pages, and the ability to check out, as well as have a cart.
As a follow-up to that, will we be able to actually edit the code inside if we want to?
Yeah, actually, let me just pull up a deck, because we were literally just presenting this earlier to developers. I'll actually take you through some of the features here. So with that package, developers will actually have instant deployments and PR-based URLs. So the cool thing about this package and infrastructure for developers is that you won't actually have to push your theme changes to production yet. So like, let's say you just have a PR for maybe changing up my header or my colors. You'll actually be able to get a URL just for those changes to pre-authorize them before pushing them to production. You'll have URLs per commit, and then yeah, you'll have automatic aliasing to instantly roll back. So. And then you'll have develop deployment APIs as well. So it's a pretty robust infrastructure for managing your store and all the different complications that come along when you're making changes to it.
Is there any option to actually change the code on the site itself?
Yeah, you'll have you'll have full source code access to the actual front end.
Last question out there.
So how will this work with drop shipping? Are you building all the tools for drop shipping, say like ratings and all that stuff, like upsells? Would you be building that within the platform itself, or would you like let developers build the apps for that?
Combination. So to be honest, like we're so early and we're kind of like picking and choosing what we're actually building versus allowing developers to do. On-site marketing is one that we will be extending to developers. So we just wrapped up how we're tokenizing all our different data points. So that way you can do things based on events or different actions and triggers. So it's going to be a mix. And to be honest, we're still figuring that out. Sure.
Are plugins in the timeline? So third party, well, other companies can make plugins to, like blog plugins, just drop in right into.
Yeah, we already have developers like literally doing integrations. So we have developers that have integrated like SMS tools, different marketing tools, because both. So it's actually both, and it's pretty cool because developers already use our GraphQL API. They have a key and token for test and production, and their admin just out of the gate. So yeah, it's been pretty cool to see that already going on, despite it only being like 3 months. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sergio.
Yes, sir.
Elliot, that was amazing.